today we were working on the Terminator theme on modular synths here. And first we're going to start out with what is the backbone of the Terminator theme, which is that beat, that cool da 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 da. So good. So we're going to try to recreate that using the Metropolis. I'm going to bring in the Tiptop Audio 808 for the meat, and then I'm going to try to bring in some of the Basimilus Iteritas alter for some of that grit that we want to have in that. So let's get started. We're going to clock this from my DAW. Let's get that clicking. Yeah, beep, beep, beep. Go. Okay. So that's clicking there, yes. So that beat da 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 is actually it's kind of a triplet breakdown of the 4/4 beat that the song is in. So we got to divide our clock into those triplets so we can pump them into the Metropolis and get that division that we need. So I'm going to try to bring the clock into the Echophone and use the Echophone to divide out some triplets. So let's do that first. Do channel 1 out, bring that into my tempo, get that clicking, and then let's just, we're going to go ahead and, we'll go ahead and just mult this clock out because I'm probably going to use it for more things later. All right, and so let's bring that clock into the Metropolis. We'll do that clock in. Yeah, let's have them up here, why not? And then we got that moving. That looks like it's going all right. So I have this set now to, since we divide into the triplets, we have the pulse count set to where the first one's getting 2, and then the second one's a rest, and then we do 1, 1, with the fourth one being a rest again. Then we have 1 pulse out, and then 5 pulses of rest to finish that out. So that's dat 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 dat. So dat 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 dat. That's what we're trying to get. Hopefully we can achieve that. Let's get some sound going into that and see where we're at. So we will, actually I did this not the way I want to do this. So this is, we want to do this into here. So we'll clock that into there, and then we'll mult this gate out is what I want to do. So let's get that then going into, we'll start out with just the, 808. Actually, I'm in the right one. And then here. And then we'll just put this into a filter, because we'll probably want to filter that out later. Yeah, and then this can go to my output, and hopefully we get some sound. There it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's on the 808. I think we got the pulse. We can bring up the gate a little bit, and that's cool. So, but we need a little bit more grit for sure into that. So let's bring in the Basimilus Iteritas Basimilus Iteritas alter, and see if we can get a little bit more grit on that. So let's just, we work backwards here. So get the output back into my filter, and we're going to clock that from our bus mult here into my trigger here, and then should be it. Oh, look at that. Nice. Should we go a little longer? And then I can really mess around with this. I don't know that much. As the piece is progressing, we can mess around and really bring in more of the dirt that we want as the piece is going. Maybe we start out with just a little bit like dun 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 dun. We're long enough on this. Should get a little bit more meat on this. Bring it down a little bit. experiment with the different, well, that's the liquid. Before we were in the metals. And this is the liquid. It's a lot more meaty. Okay, well, what I think would be cool, since we're already dividing this out to the triplets for the pulse count, why don't we just use the actual delay as well and see if we can get some cool delay going on this. So let's just try that. Pull that out now. We'll just run this output right to the mix out, and then let's try to just run this into here and see what it sounds like. It's kind of giving it a little bit more presence. Maybe we can bring the very cool, very cool, very cool. And since we're actually up here, up there at the top, I've got the Makenoise verb as well, so it might not hurt to actually put a little bit of reverb on this. So let's give that a try. So we'll just, I think that's got a lot of really cool texture to it. How about we lay that down? So let's go ahead and record some of that. Let's get that recording. Red means recording. Okay. And let's bring it in. Cool. And I want it to grow here. Just gonna yank the cable out here. Two more. There we go. I think that's a little bit I can work with, and let's put that into. We're gonna put that into Logic and see what we can do with it. All right, now we're gonna work on the bass for this Terminator theme melody, and the bass is actually really subtle. When I listen back to it, the bass is actually this really subtle kind of drone that's mixing in with the other kind of ambient drone-ish stuff that's happening. And I'd like to bring it out maybe a little bit more in this interpretation of the theme. So I'm going to use the good old Mother 32, which is one of my favorite modules, synths, to use for bass right now. Just a really clean, clear, analog sounding bass that just it really gives a lot of color and warmth to whatever you're using it on. And I'm pretty much just using it clean. You can do a lot of patching and interesting stuff with the patch bay, and also of course use it with the Eurorack to patch it to other things. But it's got a lot of controls kind of self-wired, internally wired in here. You can also use, but to be fair, I'm using mostly just a clean square wave with just a touch of pulse width, and I've got the cutoff at about 1130, and a attack coming right in, and a little bit of a longer release. And it's a super simple bass line. just a few notes. So I'm just going to play it on the little keyboard here. It's basically just those 3 notes in a different sequence. I actually really like how this bass works with the melody. It's really simple and really beautiful. But I've already got the sound keyed into what I want. It didn't take long. It's just pretty straightforward once you tune it. And so how about we just lay it down? And I've recorded in to my DAW a little MIDI version of the melody, just so I have something to play along with. Of course, we're going to re-record that next or later in with the Eurorack. Okay, let's just mute this guy, and here we go. Mustard there, yeah. Pretty straightforward. So this Terminator theme, like they have inside, they've got the melody and the bass, but they actually have a big part of the sound is this really dreamy, reverby, like resonant, sweepy drone that's going on, kind of filling in all the space of the thing. So I want to try to recreate that sound. I went ahead and recorded in a little bit of a harmony. So here's the melody I've recorded in separately. I'll kind of bring that up so you can hear it. This isn't exactly what happened in the song. I just kind of took some liberty and did it on my own. So, and it's going to be really washy in the background too. But we're going to see what we can get going with this little counter melody. Okay. Anyways, okay. So I think one of the best things to do those dreamy, kind of meowy, synth drones is this Atlantis by Intellijel. It's got a lot of options. It's kind of an all-in-one synth, and you can do a lot of interesting stuff with it to get kind of that dreamy, droney. And I'm probably going to, once again, plug it into the Verb. So let me take a second and just patch that up, and we'll get testing. Pretty simple patching because it's an all-in-one synth, so you have the mix of the different oscillators, then you have a filter and an envelope all built into one. So there's a lot you can do with just a few patch cables. Here it comes. Oh yeah. That's interesting already. I didn't even tune it yet, it's kind of just where it ended up. let's just go ahead and loop that a bit and see what kind of stuff we can do with it. I'm going to solo that so we're not playing it with other things. The tuning was actually pretty cool though. Like I'm not even sure where that landed, but I think I might have had it tuned from another thing I was doing. It's a little high though. Now I want super resonant. So you really bring in the resonance in the filter. And maybe bring in the mod a bit on the filter. Really slowly. I want this to be super resonant-y. I'm turning the reverb up there. Bringing in the sub-os. Yeah, I was starting to get that resonant sound in there. Take the solo off so we can hear it with everything else. A bit too much. A little too crazy. That's nice, that's nice. So this is just experimenting at this point. This is where all the time comes in with modular. It's just experimenting with the different parameters and see what you land on. That's getting pretty close. I like the way it sweeps in and out with the little sine wave on the LFO. The sine wave, I've got the modulator set to sine wave, and it's actually sweeping the LFO, and it's feeling just a touch more resonance. Listen to it. Let's listen to it back again. It's really giving it that. This LP boost on right now. I'm gonna try a 4-pole. Oh yeah, I had it on the dual pole, and now I have it on the quad pole filter, and that gives it much more of a resonant sweep, I think. think I like that. I think this is sounding good. Let's go ahead and lay that down. Okay, so now we come to the part where I've got the bass, I've got the harmony, I've got the percussive elements all laid down, and I'm going to actually lay in this final element, which is going to be the lead. And the lead for this is this really clean synth, 80s synth sound. It's just super clean. There's not a lot of modulation going on. And I'm going to try to use the DPO oscillator by Makenoise. I'm going to start by trying to do using both oscillators together to kind of mix the timbre a little bit. I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to use the sawtooth and the kind of wavetable, wave shaper final out. And everything is going to be powered, or I'm going to drive it all from the Rolly, which is sitting over by my laptop just to the right of my modular. So let's get this patched up and give it a try. Volt per octave input, let's go to the pitch, and we should be having pitch information now. That sounded pretty cool already. I actually don't hate the way that sounds. I don't know. Let's bring in the other one and see what it sounds like. We gotta tune it. I don't know, but it's really gonna. Already tuned. That's amazing, actually. It's kind of cool. I like that. Let's go. I don't know if it's really giving me anything. I mean, it sounds cool. Part of me just likes that just clean sound wave for sawtooth. I just don't like that phasing at all. Gotta get rid of that. So how do we get rid of that? Could just use one oscillator. I am using the Modular. What am I change? I'm gonna actually change this over. I'm gonna use the Optimix instead of the Modular. All right. Does that make any difference? Yeah, that's much better. So the way the Optimix, the way it was modulating was just kind of really strange. So I have to use the Optimix as my amp. It's a little, giving me more of the sound I'm looking for. So we've got now we have the melody and we have the bass and we have most of all the pieces. The last thing I want is in that original track, they had this really epic just anvil clap that was happening. So I want to try to recreate that anvil using the Basimilus Iteritus altar and the Manus Iteritus together to kind of try to develop a bell anvil hit sound, and I'm just triggering them from this. So I've got them all kind of hooked up now, and I'm going to just try to dial in that sound using the different parameters. So it's not quite there yet. I want something a little bit more metallic. Let's get in there. Bringing up the harmonics kind of gives it a little bit more of a smash. You change the attack, it kind of makes that, brings out a little bit of that. Still not there. Okay, let's go back to this a little bit. Kind of there, getting there. Getting there. A little bit less. All right. And I'm going to add on my DAW, I'm going to add a little bit of the reverb. Just bring a little bit of the reverb in, just to kind of see what that's going to sound like. Yeah. There, it sounded really close. All right, let's tune it to the actual, I'm going to play back and tune along. Let's go. By George, I think that's pretty close. I'm just going to bring that in kind of after the melody. So let's just record that down. Here we go. I'm pretty happy with that. That sounds a bit like an Anvil. All right, good stuff.